Money.
Gosh,
Oh.
dang. Let's go.
So 20 minutes to go.
How'd you know?
Well, now in a dangerous position.
Alright,
Yes,
this one, this build's insane.
dude.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Di Maria.
That is
Oh.
disgusting.
And it might be.
Oh!
Absolutely
Post,
destroyed.
baby.
Let's go.
Shoot.
Tremendously strong in the tackle. Can he take the chance?
Let's go. I got through a opponent that time.
Wow. Filthy, bro. You just retired that guy.
Looking
Alright.
confident in possession.
Well, they've not been at the races today. It's as simple as that. The coach.
Dude, the LBRB is beautiful.
Yeah, game. They
The
quit.
LBRB Ys are beautiful.
The seal on victory if there
It's not too high to where they can like catch
Yeah.
up.
Come on.
Pops. That's why he's 5'8". There we go. Oh shoot, pinging it.
It's there for him.
Oh my
Phil.
sauce.
You just.
Long as center
Oh
back.
my god.
He's making
You saw
that.
it at the center back running.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It worked though.
You broke the line so bad. With this dude, you
Well, in this
It's
earned
Oh.
mom a goal. Anyone could have scored.
Hey everyone, this is Leshka here, back with another FIFA 21 Pro Clubs player build for you guys today. And in this video, we have for you a most complete striker build, which I actually made a poll on my community page on my YouTube channel. And I gave 3 options of what should be my next striker build on my channel. And the most complete striker build was one of the options, as well as the best target man and the aerial threat build, which is just a build that's going to be really good at heading. And the complete striker build won that vote by quite a bit, so that's why I am now releasing this build. But just starting on this athletic page, as you guys can see for this striker build, I have him listed as 6 foot, 149 pounds. I thought that was just the best height and the best weight. I looked at it for quite a bit. I was also kind of testing with the 5'10 height, but I really just think the 6 foot is the best for the most well-rounded striker build, just the most complete striker build you can possibly make. I think 6 foot is the best just because you have some height, even though you're not like crazy tall or anything, you have some height to definitely win some headers at a consistent rate. And when it comes to the weight, as you guys can see, we're 149. I could have went for a little bit skinnier to give us some more pace, but the extra weight gives us some more strength, more jumping, just a little bit more physical stats, as well as some other things when it comes to shooting. It's just we're not going to be as fast as if we were a little bit skinnier. That's not too big of a deal. It's not going to make much of a difference. I just think the 149 and 6 foot is the body weight and the height that is just going to be perfect for the complete striker build. So with this striker build, we made sure to not focus on just one particular section to try and spread out the skill points and make this the most well-rounded striker build possible. So now let's head on over to the skill tree to show you guys what I have listed there. So over here on this complete striker playstyle screen, as you guys can see, we're listed as a striker, not a center forward. I wanted to just focus on the striker position with this build. We are 6 foot, 149 pounds, like I said, and I'm left-footed. Feel free to go righty or lefty, whatever you like. That's really preference. And then this build is an 89 overall striker build. So now let's start on the physical page. And as you'd expect, to make a complete striker build, we want to have at least some decent physical. And what I was going for when making a 6 foot striker, I wanted to have 80 strength or higher. So what 6 foot, 149 pound gives us is 81 strength. If you go all the way down to the jumping focus and then down to the second wind, you get 96 jumping and 81 strength. That's pretty much the highest I've seen in pro clubs is 96. I know you can get 96 on some other builds and some other positions depending on your height and weight, but I don't know if I've ever seen like 97 or anything higher than that. So 96 is really good, especially since you are 6 foot. You're not necessarily short. You're a really good height to win headers, and the high jumping can help you spring up, and you can win the headers over like 6'3", 6'4" players pretty easily. I got a ton of header goals with this build in the short time I used it. So you might not think this build is going to be crazy good in the air, but it actually is an aerial threat for sure, guys. So make sure you have your teammates crossing the ball into you if you're open, because you can definitely surprise some teams with some really good headers with this build. So with the skill points on this build, make sure you go down to the jumping focus, which will give you +2 jumping and +1 strength for 3 skill points. And then I went down to the second wind. If you are playing any when using this striker build, what I would suggest is just taking off the second wind and adding it to those 3 skill points to something on the dribbling page, because the dribbling could get upgraded more on this build, just because we're really trying to spread the skill points around. So it could get upgraded even more. Or if you want some extra strength and make this even a stronger build, which would be a pretty solid choice as well, take off the second wind and just add it to strength and get 84 strength. But if you are not going to do that, what I would do with the second wind is just add it to the dribbling page and add it to either agility, balance, or just like ball control and dribbling. So those are your alternatives for the second wind for the people that are going to be playing any with this build. But I'm going to put the second wind back because that's what I had it at. And for the people that aren't playing any when using this build, make sure you got that second wind on. You will need it since you only have 85 stamina. And then you're going down to this jumping focus, which we have really good, well-rounded physical stats on this page. And especially that jumping, that stands out quite a bit because it's a really high number. And you can definitely catch some people off guard and win some headers and get some nice header goals with this build. So now let's move on to dribbling. So like I said, we didn't go for like crazy upgrades on the dribbling page. We do have a lot of skill points on this dribbling page, but I didn't go for the full agility and balance upgrades, as you guys can see, which is why I was saying for the people that are going to be playing any, if you're going to take off that second win, which you should, you could add it to agility. Like I would add it to like +3 or +2 agility, and then you have one other skill point to work with. But basically what I was going for on this build, I wanted to go to the 5-star skills and also get the flare trait because it's extremely important, especially as being like a striker that's going to hold up the play, get the ball to their feet and play a pass out wide or lay it off back to your teammate. You can do a fancy pass to do like a one-time fancy pass when the ball's coming to you. You can hold LT or L2 on the PlayStation and then tap A or Y, whatever type of pass you want to make, and it should perform a fancy pass with this flare trait. And it's just very good in a lot of situations and can throw off the defense. And on top of that, you also get some fancy first touches, which can help you out in certain situations as well. So it's unfortunate that we couldn't get the extra agility and balance, but I really think having the 5-star skills and the flare trait is more important than having a couple extra agility and balance stats. But for the people that don't want the skill, like 5-star skill moves, just want to do 4-star skills since they don't really use 5-star skills, feel free to take them off and just add it to agility like that. Or you could do 83 agility. You just lose 1 ball control. So that's really up to you. I'd probably just do the 82 agility just so you don't lose any more ball control. And that's what I would go for. And then you'd have one other skill point to work with. So that's really also up to you. Or you could actually do this too. You could even take off this one and then go with just 80 balance and go for 84 agility. So there's some options if you don't want the 5-star skills, but if you have the 5-star skills, you pretty much have to do it like this. Just go down to the 5-star skills and the flare trait, and then you're good to go. And then looking at some of the other stats, we have 88 ball control and 89 dribbling. They're not in the 90s, so it's not like anything fantastic, but you are a striker, so they don't have the best base dribbling stats. But 88 ball control and 89 dribbling is not bad at all, and I didn't have a problem with it. So now let's move on to the passing section. As you guys can see, there's nothing on this page skill points wise. I really wanted to add something to passing, but we really just don't have enough skill points to increase the passing on this build. We kind of just had to settle for whatever it gives us for base striker passing stats. And my thought process anyways is that the base striker passing stats are already really bad for the most part. So there's really no point of wasting skill points to upgrade it. Like you're not going to notice much of a difference going from like 68 long passing to 70 long passing or 83 short passing to 85 short passing. But one thing I do want to note, even though the stats don't look good, I got so many good assists with this build. It felt like I was using a cam. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the 5-star weak foot I have added on the shooting page so you can just pass it with either foot. But the passing stats are not good at all, as you guys can see. But I was making some really good through balls, over the top through balls, long balls, just some good passes and getting a ton of assists with this build, which I was surprised because I thought that was going to be the weakest part of this build just based on the stats. So I'm not going to talk much about the passing page since we don't really have anything added onto it and none of the stats really stand out. We have 79 vision, 77 crossing, 68 long passing, 83 short passing, and 83 curve. So this is the one thing that could take this category off of like the most complete striker build, but we just don't have enough skill points to spread everything around. And like I said, the passing ability on this build was amazing, even though the stats don't say they are. So now let's head on over to shooting. Over here you can see we went for the 5-star weak foot, and that's pretty much it. I really wanted to get the 5-star skills and the 5-star weak foot to make this the best possible complete striker build. I think that was the key, is make sure you have the 5-star weak foot and the 5-star skills so you can pretty much do anything and take a shot from any angle no matter what foot it's on. So just go on down to this weak foot on the left and then down to this weak foot in the center section, and then you're good to go on the shooting page. Nothing else you need to add. Looking at the stats, we have 95 finishing, so that's really solid. Going to the 5-star weak foot just automatically gives us that 95 finishing. We have 88 heading accuracy. Like I said, I got a ton of header goals with this build, even though the heading is not like in the 90s or higher. 88 heading accuracy is still really good because base striker heading stats are very solid. That's one of the upsides of picking a striker over a center forward. And then we have 84 shot power, which is actually very good for pro clubs. You won't see much builds better than that, especially if they are shorter than what this build is. If they're a little taller, maybe a little bulkier, then they'll probably have better shot power. But anything shorter than this build is not going to have this much shot power. And this is a very good shot power for pro clubs. You can overpower the goalies, and then again, you have that 5-star weak foot, so it doesn't really matter what foot it's on. We do have 87 long shots, which aren't the best, but again, as a striker, their base long shots aren't as good as like a center mid or a cam, and maybe even a center forward. So we kind of just have to settle with that. The build is definitely still capable of making some long shots, and you have that good shot power as well. We don't have the finesse shot trait, just not enough skill points for it. It's too much. It would be 2 for the shot power and then 3 for the finesse shot, so that's 5 extra skill points. But you can still work the finesse shots with this build. Going back to the passing, we actually have 83 curve, which is one of the better stats on this striker build, so that's clutch. Because when you have really good curve and you try some finesse shots, that enhanced curve will actually make your finesse shot curl even more and makes it even more difficult for a goalie to save it. And then we got 94 volleys. So when you are in the box and you have a volley, maybe even outside the box, I don't know. Haven't really tried volleys from outside the box very much on this game. But especially inside the box, with the 94 volleys and the 95 finishing, you should pretty much be able to hit those every single time into the back of the net. And then we have 85 penalties and 80 free kick accuracy, which isn't too important. I guess the penalties are pretty important, and it's not terrible for a striker build. So you should be able to make some penalties pretty easily. And that'll wrap up the shooting section for this striker build. Just make sure you guys get that 5-star weak foot, and then you're good to go. So now let's move on to pace. Over here, as you guys can see, we went for the full pace upgrade. As a 6-foot, 149-pound striker, you're not the fastest. Since we didn't go for the skinniest weight range, we are a little bit slower. Like if we would have went for like 6 foot, 119 pounds, we would have been a little bit faster. But since we added extra weight, we get a little bit more physical stats, shooting stats, and some other good stuff. And I really think the pace on this build was perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. I got in behind quite a bit, behind the defense, one-on-one on the goalie. So there's no complaints when it comes to pace on this build for me. You also have those 5-star skills on this build to dribble past people. So make sure you are utilizing those 5-star skills because it can make up for not having like crazy blistering pace. I genuinely think this is my best striker build on my channel, the most well-rounded striker build you can have. If you want a striker build that can pretty much do anything, then this is the build that you're going to want to be using. So yeah, this isn't the fastest striker build you'll see, but again, it is the most complete striker build in my opinion, and this is the build that I came up with. Just looking at it again, we have really good physical stats, strength over 80, 96 jumping, so you're really good in the air as a 6-foot striker. Pretty decent dribbling stats, not crazy agility or balance, but we kind of had to let that go in order to get the 5-star skills and the flare trait and everything else we'd like. Not too much on the passing, but like I said, the passing felt fantastic. I don't know why, but it did. And then we went for the 5-star weak foot. The shooting stats are amazing. Shouldn't have a problem in front of the goal with this build. You should be able to finish almost all your chances. And then pace is very solid. Don't have any complaints about this section either. So this is my most well-rounded, most complete striker build, whatever you want to call it. Let me know in the comments how it went for you. I would love to hear that if y'all do try this build out. And if you guys could hit that like button on this video for me to help me out for that YouTube algorithm, and hit that subscribe button on my channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.
The visitors' possession stats are brilliant.
Running,
It's important to have
running,
strong,
running.
dominant players in the midfield. Just look at
I see you. You're kind of, oh man.
Their entire squadron is on this man.
Okay, that guy got mixed when I see the little scoop over him as he came over
Yeah,
the
that
slide.
players in the midfield.